Hi folks, Slavik Boyechko here with Tuts Plus, and in this lesson we're going to look at audio and music as part of our video edit. So the first place you tend to look for music is in the music section of our effects. And depending on your computer and whether or not you have iLife, you might have a lot of music options that already comes with your computer. The reason why I don't recommend using this option is that you'll notice once you start uploading your videos to YouTube that everybody uses the default music that comes with their Final Cut. And two, not every computer has the same tracks, and not every version of Final Cut has the same tracks either. So here I edited this video on my other computer, and it's red because this music clip doesn't exist on my desktop. So I don't recommend that option. I recommend finding music and then copying it into your external drive or wherever folder that you're editing from, and then importing it manually into your library. So here we have in our folder structure a miscellaneous folder with a few different music tracks. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag this into our project. Let's make the clip height a little bit bigger. And let's focus on the music. Now if we place our mouse at the beginning of the clip, right where the black line is, we can do an easy fade in, easy fade out, and adjust the total level. Okay, now if we want our music track to decrease in level, in volume, right at about this mark where we start hearing the baby cry, there's a couple different ways to do that. We can create keyframes. Let's give ourselves some more room here. By pressing Option and then clicking with your mouse, you can create two keyframes and then reduce the level of the music track at the second keyframe. We can extend that so that it's a little bit slower. And let's go ahead and hear that transition. Okay. Another way we can adjust audio levels very quickly without adding keyframes is by using the range selection tool. Now we can select a portion of our audio clip, and just by placing our mouse in the center, we can increase the levels and it'll automatically create 4 keyframes. Which we can adjust. Have them start earlier or end earlier. In our video clips, we can do the same thing by using the range selection tool and going back to the select tool and increasing the volume. There are a few ways that Final Cut can automatically adjust your audio to improve the sound. By going into our inspector and go into the audio options, we can adjust the EQ, or we can have Final Cut reduce the background noise automatically. Be careful not to go overboard with your audio effects, because sometimes your sound can sound really skewed after a while. If we want a particular clip's audio to begin or end after the cut point, we can add what we call a J or an L cut. By double-clicking on the bottom portion of the clip, you'll see that the video and audio portions now are slightly separated. Now we can drag the beginning so that it starts earlier, add a fade in. And now we can hear this next clip's audio before we see it. And we can close that. At any point, you can also right-click and detach your audio completely from your video clip. Although I wouldn't recommend that, because then it can get kind of messy and unsynced throughout the edit. So let's go ahead and undo that. There's also some audio effects that you can add to either your clips or music tracks. We'll go here and we'll click on Effects. We'll go into the audio portion. And let's go and add some reverb. Let's make this a cathedral. And if you want to hear just particular tracks as solos so that you're not distracted by some of the other clips, you can always go into Clip and Solo. You'll notice, if I zoom out and reduce the clip height, that all the other clips are grayed out. That means that this music track right now is in solo mode, so that's the only clip that we hear. You can just click on Option S to turn solo off. Now, does the audio track have to exist below the primary storyline? It doesn't, but it makes sense for our edit that everything visually exists on or above the primary storyline and all of the audio exists below. There's a few different other audio options that you might come across. If we click on any clip in the project or in the media browser, we can go into our audio options, and here we can adjust the channel configuration. We can make it a dual mono and turn off one of the mono channels. And here we can adjust the EQ. I use this quite a bit actually when I record, because some of my cameras record 2 tracks of audio when I really only need 1. So I will often change my clips to dual mono, and then I'll turn off one of the clips. That's it for editing audio and music in Final Cut. In the next lesson, we're going to look at basic color correction so that all of our clips can look as good as they can.